Hello my dear students, I hope you all are fine. Now we have to proceed for the next lesson, that is quadratic equations. A very nice lesson and very important undoubtedly. Of course, one of the main reason for it is that this also has lots of word problems like linear equation in two variables. To proceed further, first of all we have to understand what is a quadratic equation. Quadratic equation is equation who has the highest power in it is 2. The highest power of the equation is 2, that is called as the quadratic equation. Okay, so basically we can say that 7x square plus 5x minus 5x plus 6, this is a quadratic equation. To understand the quadratic equation, the general form of the quadratic equation is always like this: ax square plus bx plus c. The highest power is 2, and afterwards the power can go on reducing further. The coefficient of the x square, variable square, is a, the coefficient of the variable x is b, and the constant is c. This is the general form. Afterwards you can write anyhow. Even if we see 5x square is also a quadratic polynomial, because we can write it as 5x square plus 0x plus 0. So basically here they all are, except what happens that a is equal to 5, b is equal to 0, and c is equal to also 0. Okay, but we cannot have highest power as 3. That is the condition of the quadratic polynomial. Okay, now considering what the next topic we have to understand is, just a minute my dear students, I just have to understand one thing. What is the next thing that you have to include? Okay, now the next thing that you have to understand is identify the polynomial. Identify if given polynomial is a quadratic equation or polynomial or not. See my dear students, when you have to understand whether the given polynomial is a quadratic equation or not, at that time it is very important that you understand that all the conditions of whether the given polynomial is quadratic or not, all the conditions lie only on the power of the variable, only on the power of the variable. There is no condition on the coefficients of the variable, neither on the variable itself. The variable can be any alphabet from A to Z, any alphabet. But the power of the variable has got conditions. Power of the variable, of course, it should not be anywhere more than 2. First and foremost, the power of the variable should not be anywhere more than 2. Apart from that, the power of the variable has to be only 1, 2. It has to be only a positive integer. To be a quadratic polynomial, positive integer less than 3. Okay my dear students, this is what you have to understand. We will solve questions, and then you will be able to understand how it goes. So if we start further, and of course one more thing we have to understand before. See, first of all, what we have understood, that what is a quadratic polynomial, quadratic equation. Quadratic equation is any equation which has power 2. Okay, the highest power is 2. That is what we have understood. And then we have understood the general form of the quadratic polynomial. General form of the quadratic polynomial is always ax square plus bx plus c, where a is the coefficient of square, b is the coefficient of x alone, and c is the constant. This is again important that you have to understand, because these values of a, b, c will then be having a different role to play. Apart from that, we have to understand how to identify the given quadratic polynomial is a quadratic or not a quadratic polynomial. Of course, the highest power is going to be 3, nothing more than 3. Okay, and it has to be only positive or integers 0, 1, 2, nothing other than that. No decimals, no fractions, no negative numbers, no radicals, nothing of that sort. It has to be short, it has to be only 0, 1, 2, nothing other than that. Okay, and now comes the next topic, is the root of the quadratic equation. The root of the quadratic equation, this is what you have to understand further. See, the root of the actually quadratic polynomial, if you'll consider, it is only ax square plus bx plus c. But the general form of quadratic equation is always the general form of quadratic equation. Equation will definitely have a left hand side and the right hand side. It will be always ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Now what is the root of the quadratic equation? Again, like we have done polynomials, the difference between polynomials, basically this also is a quadratic, this also is a polynomial. But when a polynomial has highest power 2, at that time it is a quadratic polynomial. What is there called as 0 or a solution or a root, they all mean same. What does this mean? The value which we replace in the place of x, then the value of this polynomial becomes 0. That value of x is called as the root of the polynomial quadratic equation. The root of the quadratic equation is that value of the variable, which when you substitute in place of the variable, then the whole quadratic equation turns into 0. Then that value of the variable that we are going to substitute, that is called as the root. Remember, you will be having questions where you will have to find the roots. When you get the questions based on root, equation is given, find the root. That time you will be using the full ax square plus bx plus c. Okay, then one more question is there, value is given, identify if the given value can be root of equation. A value is given and equation also is given, and you have to identify whether the given value can be the root or not. At that time, when the suggested value is to be a root or not, you basically are going to use only the left hand side of the equation. You have to substitute the value in the place of the variables, and if after substituting the value in the place of the variable, if the answer comes is equal to 0, then that value is a root, otherwise it is not a root. Are you getting my point? Here you have to solve, when you have to find the root, you have to actually use the whole equation, solve it by splitting the middle term especially, and then you will get the values of the roots. When they give you a value, they suggest you a value, and then they ask you to identify whether the given value is a root or not. At that time, what you have to do is that you have to substitute that value straight in the place only on the left hand side. And after solving that only in the left hand side, if you get the end answer 0, that means the given value is a root. This is one type of question. And the third type of question is basically root is given. Now the root is given, remember, means the value, they tell you that this value is a root. This value is a root. There is no question, no doubt whether you have to identify whether it is a root or not. This is a root, and the equation also is given, but has an unknown variable other than the main variable, an unknown variable. This unknown variable, like example, it can be like 7x square minus kx plus c is equal to 0. No, this 9 plus 9 is equal to 0. Now you know This variable is in the form of, this equation is in the form of x. 7 is the coefficient of x square, but b is not known, k is not known, 9 is there. And they have also given you the root also is given. And then you have to find the value of k. At that time also you are going to use the full equation. You are going to substitute the given value in this equation. And then you will get the value of k. These are the three type of questions which are basically based on roots of the equations. This much you have to understand, my dear students. If you have understood this, then we can think of going into some questions of quadratic equations. We can have some questions. So here is that question. Okay, my dear students. So write any two quadratic equation, we can say. So when they ask you to write any two quadratic equations, you can just take any two quadratic equation. 2x square plus 3x plus 5 is equal to 0. You can take any. You can even take half y square minus root 3y plus root 5 is equal to 0. This also is a quadratic equation. Remember, quadratic equation doesn't have any condition on the coefficients. The coefficients can be anything. They can be a fraction, they can be in the radical, anything. The condition is only on the power of the variable. The second one, decide whether the following are quadratic equations or not. Now it is there. Now we have to understand whether the given is a quadratic equation or not a quadratic equation. Now here what we have to do is that we will have to solve these quadratic equations first. Whenever we are asked whether to identify whether the given equation is a quadratic equation or not, at that time first thing that you have to do is solve the quadratic equation. And the best way to do is, see, first one, x square plus 5x minus 2. This is a general form. This is come into a standard form. So this is already a standard form. So here we can make out that the powers are normal, integers only. So you just have to straight tell that this is a quadratic equation. Okay, and if they want, you can even tell here the given equation is a quadratic equation, comparing it with this. You have to be friendly. This will be continuous with there with plus c is equal to 0, a will be equal to 1, b will be equal to 5, and c will be equal to minus 2. Remember this. This is a, this is b, and this is c. A is the variable coefficient of x square. So what is the coefficient of x square? 1. Nothing is there means 1. What is the coefficient of b? These are all positive that you have taken. What is the coefficient of x? Coefficient of x is plus 5. So plus 5. What is the constant? Constant is minus 2. So minus 2 will come. This if you write, that means with this, that is the reason when I can get the values of a, b and c properly, then definitely it is a quadratic equation. You can even write, since the highest power is 2, therefore it is a quadratic equation in variable x. This also can be written. Everybody has their own way of explanation. Don't worry about that. If it is coming, this actually you don't have to write, but I am writing this because sometimes they ask you that if it is a quadratic equation, find the values of a, b and c. So let us go to the second question. Second question is asking us y square is equal to 5y minus 10. Now this is not in a standard form. So we have to bring it to the standard form. For that, everybody has to shift to the left hand side. So it will become y square minus 5y plus 10 is equal to 0. Here you will tell, since the highest power, you can also say degree, of given equation is 2, therefore it is a quadratic equation in variable pi. Bus, that is all. Okay, and if they ask you to find the values of a, b and c, a is equal to 1, b is equal to -5 and c is equal to 10. Okay, now let us go to the question number 3. This is all actually now y square plus 1 upon y is equal to 2. Now see here, is this in standard form? Definitely not. Standard form means basically a x square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. The variables have to be in the numerator. So here if you will see, the variable of second term y is in the denominator. If I shift it to the numerator, we know that when actually we shift the base from numerator to denominator or from denominator to numerator, anywhere, if I shift it like this, from numerator I am trying to shift it to the denominator, then the sign of the power will change. It can be anyway, 7 upon a raised to the power of -8. If I change this, it will become 7. I am changing this, remember I am changing the place of the base, a raised to the power of 8. If it is positive, it will become negative. If it is negative, it will become positive. Okay, I am changing the place of the base. Whenever you change the place of the base, sign of the power will change. Okay, so y, likewise here I will get y square plus. Now if I change the place of the base over here, if I take it up, it will become y raised to the power of -1 is equal to 2. So now here you can see that the power of the second term y is negative, is not an integer, is not a positive integer. That's why it is not a quadratic equation. Okay, so here since the power of second term is negative, therefore negative integer, okay. Therefore the given equation is not a quadratic equation. Okay, now let's go to the fourth question. In fourth question, what are they asking us? X plus 1 upon x is equal to -2. Okay, the fourth question is this: x plus 1 upon x is equal to -2. Okay, if we go to do this, x plus 1 upon x is equal to -2. Again it is same question, but here what happens is that one thing is there, my dear students. Here one thing can happen, same thing could have not happened over there. Here if supposing I want to get rid of this x, supposing I want to get here, if I do that, the same thing what I am going to do over here, see what I will do, multiplying throughout by x, what I will get, x into x plus x into 1 upon x is equal to -2 into x. So this will become x square, x and x will go, plus 1 is equal to -2x. So this becomes what? X square plus 2x plus 1. Suddenly see the scene is changing. X square plus 2x plus 1. Suddenly see it is become a, see same thing if I would have done it over here with this question, it would have not been a quadratic equation. Why? Because y square, if I multiply this equation by y, trying to get rid of the denominator is y. To get rid of the denominator, I will have to multiply throughout by the denominator y. So y square into y plus 1 upon y into y is equal to 2 into y. Here definitely y will get out, but then what happens? This y square into y will become y cube plus 1 is equal to 2y. See, even now it is not a quadratic polynomial because the degree of the polynomial is more than 2. It is 3. Okay, so the degree cannot be more than 2. So even if you would have done by this case also, it would have been not been a quadratic equation. Do it by this case also, it will not be a quadratic equation. But we can't really do that. X, if you shift over here, then it will be slightly a problematic situation because this is a quadratic equation. We will have to bring it like this, and then here you will tell since the degree of given equation is 2, therefore it is a quadratic equation. And of course you can also say, but that's all. Don't give. See, in this question, if you go to write in a depth, then you will be solving an essay over there. Okay, fourth one also is over. Now fifth question, if you'll see, it is m plus 2 in one bracket, m minus 5 in another bracket. This also you will have to solve it first. You only have to be very careful that you should be able to solve the given equations and bring it to standard form. Here when you go to solve the equation, you just have to multiply bracket to bracket. For that you will do m into m square, plus minus 5 into m, 5m, plus 2 into m, 2m, plus minus 2 into 5, 10 is equal to 0. Now what you will get over here? Now here you can solve only this part. You will get m square minus 3m minus 10 is equal to 0. Now if you will compare this is definitely a quadratic equation. So here you will tell since the degree of given equation is 2 and all its powers of variables are non-negative integers, therefore the given equation is a quadratic equation. This is, I have reached to a very pakka one, no fault. Here also we can write here, since the degree of given equation is 2 and here also we can write this, and all its powers are non-negative integers, therefore it is a quadratic equation. Pakka. Everywhere we can do it in the same way, finish it off once and for all. Here also no need of writing everything of this sort. Here also we can write the same thing, since the degree of the polynomial is 2 and all its other powers are non-negative integers, therefore it is a quadratic equation. Okay. Now coming to the sixth question. Finally, when I reached to the sixth question, I got a perfect example of solution. Now if you see over here, we have got m cube is there. See, but of course even if we shift it over here and try to solve it, now also this will become minus 2m cube plus 3m square minus 2. You can't get rid of this m cube in any way, since the degree of given equation is 3, therefore it's not a quadratic equation. Okay, so with this we have understood one type of questions. Now we can go to the second question or third question definitely. Here what are they asking? This is quite simple actually, my dear students. Write the following equations in the form ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Then write the values of the a, b, c for each equation. Okay, so in this case if you will see, we have to first convert that into the standard form, and afterwards we have to write the values of a, b and c. Okay, so we can proceed further here. First question is 2y is equal to 10 minus y square. So if I go to the write this in the standard form, what do I get? Minus y square I shift over here, y square plus 2y. 10 shifts over here, it becomes minus 10 is equal to 0. That's all. Now here comparing this, comparing the equation with, now you have to be careful, a y square plus y plus c is equal to 0. A is equal to 1, b is equal to 2, c is equal to minus 10. This is over. This is a, coefficient of y square, coefficient of y is b plus 2, coefficient of c is minus 10. Okay, now let us go to the second one, next one, that is x minus 1 the whole square is equal to 2x plus 3. Of course we will have to solve this first, and with this we will have to use the formula of a minus b the whole square is equal to what? A square minus 2ab plus b square. This formula we will have to use it over here. Here I will get x square minus 2x, 2 into x into 1, 2 into x into 1 is 2x plus 1 is equal to 2x plus 3. 1 square is 1. Okay, so now I will bring the minus 2x plus 1 minus 3 is equal to 0. Now I can solve this. I can solve this. X square minus 4x minus 2 is equal to 0. Now again the same thing, comparing with is equal to 0. I'll get a is equal to what? A is the coefficient of x square, 1. Right? Are you able to see this? A is the coefficient of x, so that is 1. B is the coefficient of x. What is that? Minus 4. Remember, we have to consider the sign. And c is a constant, which is minus 2. So likewise you will be able to, very easy, the starts and everything, but definitely these questions can come. They come for 1 mark at the most, not more than that. What did I solve? Okay, x square plus 5x is equal to minus into bracket 3 minus x. Okay, and if we have to solve this, so first we will have to solve the bracket in this space. X square plus 5x minus will multiply minus plus minus 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 plus x. Then everything shifts over here, it becomes x square plus 5x minus x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now this can be solved further. X square plus 4x plus 3 is equal to 0. So it has come to the standard form. Again the same thing, comparing with a x square plus bx. A is the 1. I hope by now you have understood what is happening in the question. Okay, so with this we go to the next question, that is question number 4. 3m square is equal to 2m square minus 9. Here it is very simple to shift it. Minus 2m square. Everybody shifted on the left hand side, so right hand side becomes 0. So this is done. Oh, 3m square minus 2m square will be solved. That will be m square. Now we will have to write 0m plus n, 9 is equal to 0. Okay, so with this what we have to do, comparing with am square plus bm plus a is equal to 1, b will be equal to 0 and c will be equal to 9. Okay my dear students, so let's go forward. Fifth one, this is p into 3 plus 6p is equal to minus 5. There can be lots of okay. So this will become p into 3 will become 3p, p into 6p will become 6p square is equal to minus 5. So now rearranging this, 6p square 3p plus 5 is equal to 0. So what we get over here, comparing with a p square plus b p plus c is equal to 0. What is a? A is equal to 6, b is equal to 3, sorry, c is equal to 5. Okay, so with this we can, it's going on very smoothly and nicely, nothing, no complications involved anywhere. X square minus 9 is equal to 13. So here also I will bring it, x square minus 9 minus 13 is equal to 0. This will become x square minus 22 is equal to 0. Fine. So again here comparing, if you want you can write x square plus 0x minus 22 is equal to 0. A is equal to 1. Okay, with this we have finished question number 3. Now we can move forward to question number 4. In question number 4, what are they asking is that determine whether the values given against each of the quadratic equation are the roots of the equation. As I told you my dear students, when I was explaining you, see there are two type of questions. Of course we have not reached over here. The first itself we have completed this, dealing with general equation, finding the value of a, b and c. Now straight they are coming first, they are starting with this because they want you to have an idea what actually is a root. A value is given to you and you have to identify whether that value is a root or not. You are not supposed to find it, you only have to judge that the given value is a root or not. Now here if you'll see, this is the quadratic equation, x square plus 4x minus 5 is equal to 0, and you have to identify whether x is equal to 1, means 1 is a root or not, whether minus 1 is a root or not. Similarly over here, this is a quadratic equation given to you and you have to identify whether 2 is a root or not. You have to identify whether 5 upon 2 is a root or not. Okay, so just like that, while identifying whether it is a root or not, you have to only use the left hand side. Question number 4, we are going to the first question. X square plus 4x minus 5 is equal to 0. Now x is equal to 1 and minus 1. Okay, now here first what we will do is that determining if 1 is root of given equation. Okay, so here x square plus 4x minus 5, we will take only this left hand side. Now here 1 square plus 4 into 1 minus 5. Substituting x is equal to 1. This will become 1. 4 ones are 4 minus 1 plus 4, 5 minus 5. This is equal to 0. For x is equal to 1, x square plus 4x minus 5 is equal to 0. Therefore 1 is the root of given quadratic equation. Fine, this is done. Now determining if next is what? Minus 1. So what is the equation? X square plus 4x minus 5. Now you can write like this, LHS. So here we will write minus 1 you get what? 1 minus 4 ones are, remember, oh sorry, 1 square is 1 plus minus 4 ones are 4 minus 5. So this will give you 1 minus 9. This will give you minus 8, which is not equal to RHS. Since for x is equal to minus 1, x square plus 4x minus 5 is not equal to 0. Therefore minus 1 is not a root of given quadratic equation or equation. Fine. This is how we will be proceeding. Now we have to go to the next question. Question number 2. Here they have given us 2m square 5m is equal to 0 and the values of m are 2 and 5 upon 2. Fine. So now first I will proceed with if 2 is root of given equation. So what you will get, this is the equation, 2m square minus 5m is equal to 0. If you consider LHS, 2m square minus 5m, in place of m you will go to substitute 2. In place of m I will write 2. Square will be also written as it is, 5 into 2. Substituting m is equal to 2. So here you get what? 2 2s are 4 2s are 8 minus 2 5s are 10. Okay, minus 2. Since which is not equal to RHS. What did I write before? RHS दिखा कि LHS दिखा पहले? हाँ, RHS दिखा, चलो ठीक है. Which is not equal to RHS. Since 2m square minus 5m is not equal to 0 for m is equal to 2. Therefore 2 is not a root of given equation. Fine. Now next is determining if 5/2 is root of given equation. Then the equation is what? 2m square minus 5m is equal to 0. This is the equation. So you will write 2 in place of m, you will write 5/2. 5/2 the whole square minus 5 into 5/2. This will take only the LHS. Substituting m is equal to 5/2. Okay, so here you will get 5 that will be 25, and also you will have to take the square of 2, 4. This will be, of course, you will have to multiply numerator to numerator. 5 5 is 25/2. Here we can cancel because there is a multiplication here. 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are 4. So this will become 25/2 minus 25/2. This is 0. So this is equal to RHS. Since for m is equal to 5/2, 2m square minus 5m is equal to 0. Therefore 5/2 is root of given quadratic equation. Okay, so with this we finish with question number 4. So now we can go for question number 5. See, question number 5 is that one which I have told you before. This is my problem. Yes. See, this part of question is finished, and now they are going to, now when you have understood what is the root. Root is basically a value you have understood by now when we have solved it. Whenever the given value turns into a 0, when we substitute value, and after substituting the value in the variable, in the place of the variable, after substituting the value in the place of the variable, if the polynomial turns to be equal to 0, then you have to tell it that that value that you substitute is the root. If you substitute the value -1, and after substituting the value is not turning to be 0, it can be anything other than 0, then it is not a quadratic equation. It is not a root of the, this not a root means -1 is not the root, then -1 is not a root. Same you've seen over here, two values are there. When we substitute 2 in the place of m, then you got the end value is -2, not 0. Therefore 2 is not the root. When you substituted 5/2, you got end value is equal to 0. Means the polynomial turned to be 0. The left hand side of the polynomial turned to be 0. Therefore 5/2 is the root. The value that we substitute is the root. Remember that. Okay. Now once you have understood what is a root and what is not a root, now they are telling you, taking you to the next part of the question, another part of the question. Root is given. They will give you that this is a root, and one variable, a different variable will be there, which you have to find. So here if you see the 5th question, find k. You have to find k if x is equal to 3 is a root. X is equal to 3 is a root. See here, it is a root. There is no doubt about that. Nothing to go and judge it, no determination. You just have to use that value of 3 as a root, and then find the value of k of this equation. Kx square minus 10x plus 3 is equal to 0. In both the cases, you have to use the total equation. So here, if I go to the question number 5, see here, kx square minus 10x plus 3 is equal to 0 is the given equation. And now, since x is equal to 3 is the root of given equation. This is again given. Therefore, x is equal to 3 satisfies the given equation. Means what? Now in place of x, if I go to write in place of x, if I go to write 3 square minus 10 into 3 plus 3, this is going to be equal to 0. It will be satisfying. Okay, and now if I solve this, this will become 9k minus 30 plus 3. This I can solve further. 27 I shift on the other side. This is k is equal to 3. Found. Understood, my dear students? Very easy. Now here, one of the roots of the equation, here also same thing, one of the roots of the equation 5m square plus 2m plus k is equal to 0 is minus 7 upon 5. Minus 7 upon 5. Complete the following activity. Means actually you have to find the value of k. No, but actually when sometimes you have got the activity, then it is better to solve in that way only. But of course the drama will be the same. Question number 6. See, one of the roots, this is the equation given to you, 5m square plus 2m plus k is equal to 0. This is there, and minus 7 upon 5 is the root of the given equation. Okay, so here you will tell minus 7 upon 5 is the root of given equation. This is given. Therefore, m is equal to this is the way we will solve, and then you have to substitute the values and solve. But let us see in the activity what they have done. Of course they will be doing the same thing. See, dash is the root of the given equation, right? This is what we are writing. Minus 7 upon 5 is the root of the given equation, but we are writing given over here. They have not written given, but we should write. So put, this word I really don't like. I use the word substitute, and you also, dear students, don't use that. Such an ugly word. Substitute m is equal to dash in the equation. Normally what I do is that m is equal to minus 7 upon satisfies the given equation. This is a nice way of writing. Okay, so when you write this, what am I doing? See here, 5 box square plus 2 means what happens over here? M is equal to, see here, m is equal to minus 7 upon 5 is given to you, minus 7 upon 5. Minus 7 upon 5 is the root of the given equation. This should be given. So therefore substituting m is equal to minus 7 upon 5 in the equation. Means in place of m you will write minus 7 upon 5. So here you will get minus 7 upon 5 the whole square plus 2 into minus 7 upon 5. After solving over here, what do you get is, so we will solve that first. So here we will get 5m square plus 2m plus k is equal to 0. So 5 into minus 7 upon 5 the whole square plus 2 into minus 7 upon 5 plus k is equal to 0. If I go to solve this, square will be positive, 7 7s are 49 upon 49 upon 25 plus minus 2 7s are 14 upon 5 plus k is equal to 0. Fine. Now 5 1s are 5 5s are, so you get over here 49 upon 5 minus 14 upon 5 plus k. Now because the denominators are equal, common, same, we can directly subtract this. 49 minus 14, 49 minus 10 will give you 39, 39 minus 4 will give you 35 upon 5 plus k is equal to 0. 5 1s are 5 7s are 7 plus k is equal to 0. This is what we have got. So here we can, I think that's what they have reached. 7 plus dash plus k. So here they have got dash plus k. So you see here we will have to write this. Dash plus k. Dash plus k. So here we will write 49 upon 5 plus minus 14 upon 5 plus k is equal to 0, and when you solve this also you get 7 plus k is equal to 0. The 7 plus k is equal to 0. K is equal to minus 7. When the activity is given at that time, you should be able to write properly the boxes that are asked you to fill, and those boxes you have to write. Okay, you can definitely solve it like this, and then you can fill the boxes over here. You can solve it like this and then see, look at the boxes, where are they? Minus 7 upon 5 is the root. Minus 7 upon 5 is the root, so you will write this minus 7 upon 5 is the box of yours. So here put m is equal to minus 7 upon 5. This, of course, you will not write this. Then this is your box, then this is your box, and then this is not shown, so you don't have to box anything over there, but this will be your box, and plus karke this will be your box. This is what you have to understand, that you have to write. Okay, and then when you solve this, this is your another box. Okay, and then you get the value of k is equal to minus. So my dear students, with this we have finished exercise 2.1. okay, and soon we can go for the exercise 2.2, which will be actually, now when we go to exercise 2.2, then we will be actually solving the quadratic equation to find the roots of the quadratic equation. And there are, I suppose, to find the roots of the quadratic equation, one is this splitting the middle term, then it is what is the other one? Other one is formula method is there, and completing the square method is there. Yeah, 3 methods are there. We have to know the 3 methods, and once we know the 3 methods, then we are free to solve them. Okay, splitting the middle term we already know, actually we have done them lots of times, so you should be able to do that. Okay, my dear students, that's all for the day. Thank you very much. Love you all. Take care.